Hello and welcome back to the channel, the Real Crypto Sentinel. Nothing you see in this video is financial advice, so please do your own research. I've been spending a lot of time on X and other social media platforms recently, and I keep seeing the same sort of questions popping up about when is the altcoin season going to start, when's the meme coin super cycle, how am I going to know when we're at the top and when's the best time to sell. Following on from that, I thought I'd do this short video on the three main indicators that I use and I've seen other people post about as well. Two of them are very straightforward and really handy indicators to use. The third one's a little bit more complicated but does support the first two. So the indicators on your screen now are the net unrealised profit and loss, the NUPL, the market value divided by realised value, the MVRV, and the spent output ratio, or the SOPR. Okay, so the first chart we're going to have a look at is the net unrealised profit and loss, or the NUPL. The indicator is derived from the market value of Bitcoin multiplied by the number of coins in circulation. So what does that actually mean to us? So the realised value takes the price of each Bitcoin when it was last moved from one wallet to another wallet. It then adds up the individual prices and takes an average of them. It then multiplies that average price by the total number of coins in circulation. By subtracting the realised value from the market value, it can calculate the unrealised profit and loss. Looking at the chart, the black line is the price of Bitcoin. The blue line is the ratio between market cap and taking profit. When the market cap rises much faster than profit taking, you can see the market blue line overheating or moving up into the red zone, the euphoria and greed zone. If you look back at historical data, say 2011, 2013, 14, 2018 and 2021, every time the blue line enters the red zone, it's usually followed by a big drop or reset. If it touches that red zone, that is the time you need to be thinking about taking profits. Okay, the next chart we're going to have a look at is the market value divided by realised value, or the Z score. So the black line is the current price of Bitcoin multiplied by the number of coins in circulation. The blue line, the price of each Bitcoin when it was moved again from one wallet to another wallet. It adds up the prices and takes the average. It then multiplies the average price by the total number of coins in circulation. By doing this, it strips out the short-term market sentiment and can therefore be seen as a more long-term accurate representation of Bitcoin's value. The Z score, or the orange indicator on the chart, is probably the most important one. A standard deviation test that pulls out extremes in data between market value and realised value. So basically the MVRV Z score, or orange line, is effective at identifying periods where market value is moving unusually high above realised value. So these periods are highlighted by the Z score entering the pink box along the top, same as the NUPL. When this orange line shoots up to that red zone, it's usually followed by a big drop or reset. Now, unlike the NUPL, which I think was a bit more consistent, as soon as the NUPL goes into that euphoric zone, it was generally almost immediately followed by a big drop. On the MVRV here, you can see, especially in 2013, 14 and 2018, it not only entered the red zone but went straight through it. So if you just use this chart on its own, as soon as that indicator hits the red zone and you take profits, you might be doing yourself out of extra finances. So I would use this chart in conjunction with the NUPL one and the other one that I'm going to discuss in a minute with you, to give yourself the most informed decision that you can, basically. Okay, the final chart we're going to discuss is the spent output profit ratio, or the SOPR. Spent output profit ratio tracks the profit level of all Bitcoins during any given period. It indicates whether sellers are in profit or loss. The SOPR indicator is a bit more complicated and is calculated by looking at the ratio between the US dollar value when an unspent transaction output is created against the US dollar value when the unspent transaction output is spent. This refers basically to the balance in the Bitcoin address. It's an on-chain analysis that can observe whether outgoing transactions are in profit or loss. Breaking that down into something that's not so technical, the SAPR is useful because it provides a snapshot of the actual market participant behaviour, so market sentiment basically. If more losses are being realised, the SAPR is going to be negative and is going to have red candles. If profits are being realised, the SAPR will be green, and as you can see, plenty of green candles there where we're looking at historically the previous bull markets. But it's a good indicator of when you're in a bull market, when you're coming out of a bull market, when the bears are taking control, and then potentially when the bears are losing control and you're heading back towards the bulls and the green candles again. Now, interestingly, if you look at the ends of the graph where we are right now, obviously the bulls are in control, and it looks like that's just sort of starting out. If you compare that back to sort of the 2018, 2021, I think there's quite a long way to go, and we've touched on the fact that really you need to be focusing on these indicators and charts at the end of quarter 4 25, maybe quarter 1 26, and I think that's going to play out true. But if you use all these charts in conjunction with each other, they will tell you, and you'll be able to make that informed decision that you want, and as to when is the best time to sell and maximize your profits. Okay, so to sum up, there's 3 very useful indicators for picking out the top of the market there. I hope you found this useful. If you have, then please like and subscribe. Please check out the links in the description below. I've linked in Bitcoin Magazine Pro, which I'm not affiliated, by the way, but I've just used them for this video. I like the way they've set up their charts, and they're a bit easier to read than some of the others that I've seen, hence why I've used it. But by all means, do your own research. If you prefer the charts elsewhere, then please go for that. Like I said at the beginning, I'm just trying to share as much information as I can, stuff that I found out and I found useful, and I truly believe the more people that are doing well in crypto is going to be better for everybody.